Okay, let's get started with C programming language. First of all, I'm going to take a quick look at the syllabus here. Most of this stuff is pretty standard. So the course objective is basically to become moderately fluent in the C programming language. C is, kind of a basic programming language. A lot of other programming languages are based off of it. C is still used quite a bit, and you should at least have some familiarity with C if you are a computer science major. So that's the goal of the class. Write enough C that you start to feel comfortable with it. Expect you to be honest. Do your assignments yourself is what that means, and complete the assignments on time. As usual, we're not going to allow late assignments, or at least not allow credit for late assignments. So we're not going to be learning a lot of new concepts. You already know how to do variables, you know how to do functions, parameters, you know how to do loops and if statements and stuff like that. So we're not learning any new concepts really, although when we get to pointers that might be a little bit different. But most of the stuff is just stuff you've already done. We're just doing it in a new language. So the grading is going to be a little different in here. My expectations are a little bit higher for this class, primarily because you're computer science majors. And so I'm going to evaluate your programs for correctness, not for style. I won't correct your code. I'm just going to run it and see if it works with my data. Grading will be A through F, and you have to do all of the assignments and get them all correct. That's a requirement to pass the class. If you do not do that, you do not pass the class. So you're going to have to get every single assignment to work regardless. You may as well get it to work right away. And if you do that, then everybody will get an A. So you get one free late program. And if you get one free late one, if you have one late one, you'll still get an A. After that, each late assignment result in a drop of a letter grade. And you got to do them all anyway. So you may as well do them on time. So if you get 2 assignments in late, you're down to a B, 3 is a C, 4 is a D, and if you do 5, you fail the class. We'll have about 1 assignment per week, probably not exactly that, probably a little bit less than that, but at least 10 assignments for sure. I don't have this filled in yet. I don't know what the deadline is for withdrawing a course that's all semester long. Typically, that is about 3 weeks or so before the end of the semester. But we can look that up. The rest of the stuff is just kind of boilerplate syllabus stuff, and we don't really need to take a look at that. So first day, I want you to get the TinyC compiler, and here is a link to it. And we're just going to download a zip file. You can see I've downloaded this a few times before, and we're going to open it up. And it's a zip file, so we have to extract everything. And it wants to know where we want to put it. I'm going to put it on my desktop. And you can put it any place you want to put it. And then I'm going to extract it. It's not a big file, so it shouldn't take very long. And now if I go to my desktop, and I look at these by date modified, it should be the first folder here. And there's my TCC folder. If I open that up, I have 4 folders, and I have tcc.exe. I've got 3 executables. This is the TinyC compiler. It doesn't even require an install. It's a portable program. You just have to copy it to your computer and double-click on it, and it will work. But we're not going to be double-clicking. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be running things from the command line, which is also something you ought to know a little bit about. If we go down here and search, and we type in CMD and hit enter, it will bring up the command prompt for us. And it looks like this. It's just kind of an old-style terminal window. And it tells us where we are in the hierarchy on the drive. So there's a folder called users. Inside that, there's a folder called clone, and that's where we are. If I do a directory right now, dir is a directory command. It will list all the files for you. There's a bunch of them. There's 58 files out there. And you can scroll back up here if you want to. I'm just scrolling with the mouse wheel. And you can also I don't want to see all 58 of them. I'm going to do a directory command. I'm going to do T asterisk, and that's a wildcard. So I want everything that starts with the letter T. And whoops, I'm not there yet. I want to go to the desktop. So I need to do a change directory CD desktop. Enter. And now I'm going to do, I can hit the up arrow here too, and it'll take me back through previous commands. Now I want to see if there's something out there that starts with the letter T, like maybe a folder called TCC. And folders are indicated by, they used to call them directories, now they call them folders, by dir out here. And what I want to do is I want to go down one more level. I want to be in that folder, so type change directory CD TCC and hit enter. And now we're in that folder. Now if I do the dir command, I will see a list of the same things that I see over here. It's just not as pretty. Okay, plus these two extra ones up here that we're not really concerned with. There's my TinyC compiler. If I want to invoke it, I just type TCC. I could type tcc.exe, but that's redundant, so you can just type the TCC. Then what you have to do is you have to put the word hyphen, and or hyphen followed by the word run, and then a space and then the name of the file that you want. I'm going to go get a file here, and we'll take a look at it, and we will compile it and run it in a minute. Okay, I just copied a very short C program into my TCC folder on my desktop. It's called hello.c. It's pretty small. It says 1 kilobyte. It's not actually anywhere near 1 kilobyte. If I go back over here, now this listing of files and this listing of files should be the same. So I've added hello.c. So if I do another directory command, and I can just do the up arrow here, and now it comes back and it also lists hello.c. And it's only 65 bytes long. It's very short. You can create that with any text editor. You can do Notepad if you want to. I'd probably recommend some kind of a programmer's editor that actually recognizes the keywords in C and does some syntax highlighting and indentation and stuff like that for you. There's lots of options out there. Two of them that I'm familiar with are Notepad++ and VS Code, which stands for Visual Studio Code. They're both free. VS Code is from Microsoft. I don't know for sure who puts out Notepad++. If you want to see what's in a file, you can just do a type command. And if you're typing a text file, which is what all program files are, it will just echo the text of the file back out onto the screen here for you. So this is my program. It's only 6 lines long, and one of those is blank, and 2 of them have curly brackets on it. So it's very short. If you want to do any input and output in a C program, which you're going to want to do, obviously, this must be up here at the top. So I'm telling the compiler that this is a compiler directive. I'm saying include a file called standardio.h. And you'll figure out what the .h is when you start reading about it a little bit, and it has to be inside of angle brackets. So that allows me to do this print statement down here, this printf. Although if that wasn't there, I'd get a syntax error on printf. So every C program has a main function called main. It is by default, it will return an int. If I want it, technically what I should probably be doing, if it's an int function, I should probably have a return 0 here at the end. 0 usually means that there was no error that occurred while the function was executing. A non-zero value means that there was an error. Printf is for formatted printing. We've done some formatted printing in C#, I think, and Python. And so this is typically a format string, and then followed by variables. This is way too simple even for printing out any variables. We're just going to print out this constant string. So let's get the program to run. Let's do TCC is the name of the function I want to, or the name of the program I want to invoke, tcc.exe, and space, and then hyphen run, and then hello.c. You got to make sure you put the .c on the end. Hit enter, and it will run the program. Any output from the program will be directed here. Any input from the program will come from your keyboard. You'll put a prompt here and type it in from the keyboard. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to introduce a syntax error into the program, and then we'll run it and see what an error message looks like. Okay, I've introduced a syntax error. I'm going to go and do that type command again. I'm just doing the up arrow key. And I get back to the type hello.c, hello.c. And you can see the mistake I introduced is I left the semicolon off the end. Well, now I want to run it again. I'm going to do my up arrow key to go back to that run command that apparently I have gone past. There it is. And hit enter. And I get an error message telling me that on line 6, it said there was a semicolon expected. Okay, well, it's actually on line 5, but it didn't realize it until it got to line 6. I could have put semicolon down here, which would be kind of a poor practice, but it didn't realize until it got 6. And so you know that the error message occurred not below this, possibly on this line. If not on this line, almost always on the line right above it. So syntax errors aren't quite as good as you might like them to be, but I don't think you'll have any trouble figuring them out. So that's how you run a program from the command line. When you hand it in, all you're going to do is hand in the .c source program. There's no project or anything here that needs to be zipped up. Just hand in the hello C or whatever the name of the program for the assignment happens to be, and put that in the Dropbox. Okay. You are welcome to stop by my office anytime if you have problems with the program. You shouldn't have any problems with this first one, I don't think. And there will be some things you need to read before you can do the assignments. But if after reading those you still have questions, feel free to stop by and we'll get things figured out for you. But above all, make sure you get the assignments done correctly and make sure you get them in on time.